He's a man I've never interviewed before, even though he's from San Antonio. Texas House Speaker Joe Straus, a man who finds himself as sort of a lightning rod for politicians that are even within his own party. So today, we sit down and have a candid conversation with the speaker and talk about everything from personalities to priorities. We're on the eve of the special session. Your expectations for what's going to start on Tuesday?
Well, on Tuesday, we'll be charged with, so far, the official proclamation from the governor is to pass a very simple safety net bill that simply just keeps several state agencies in operation for another 12 years. So, so that should be pretty simple, but it turned out not to be so simple in the regular session. But that's our first order of business. And from there, the governor has said he will expand the call with an agenda that's under his control during a special session. That he'll expand that call and agenda to, I think, somewhere around 20 items. We'll have to wait and see for the official proclamation.
Yeah. Do you have expectations or hopes for this special session?
Well, sure. I'm always an optimist. And there are some things that we didn't get to accomplish in the regular session that the House is anxious to get back to work on, such as addressing public school finance and doing something meaningful in property tax reform, meaning having the state do more and the local school property tax payers do less, keeping more of the local property taxes in the local school districts. So the House looks forward to continuing to work on our priorities, also helping retired teachers with their spiraling out of control health care costs. We'll get another shot at doing something for them, so that's good.
How would you describe the regular session?
Well, it was 140 days, full of debates, and you know, beneath some of the more sensational headlines, I'm very proud of some of the things that we accomplished. We made some major reforms in our mental health care system in the state of Texas, modeling some of those reforms after some very successful programs in Bexar County. And we also made some great progress on a terrible, tragic situation dealing with child protective services and our most vulnerable young people in the state. So those were two major priorities in the Texas House, and they passed in the Texas Senate as well, and the governor supported us. So those were some good key victories that'll really improve Texans' lives. So I feel good about that. We balanced a budget with a multi-billion-dollar shortfall without raising taxes. That's never easy. Didn't get a lot of attention, but hard to do. So we did some good things.
You seem to be the focus, for better or worse, of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Certainly yesterday's news conference, I got the chance to watch that. How would you term your relationship with the Lieutenant Governor right now? Well,
you know, putting some of his invectives to the side, I was actually encouraged by his presentation yesterday because he's now focusing on the issue that the House has been trying to prioritize all during the regular session in terms of addressing public school finance and retiree teacher health care. So I'm encouraged by it, and you know, in politics it's a tough sport, and sometimes you have to put some of the personal comments to the side if you're going to be focused on results, which is what I try to do.
Yeah. He called your school finance plan in the regular session a Ponzi scheme. I mean, he had some other choice words in there. What was your initial reaction when you heard those things?
Well, I haven't really looked at his proposal yet, but we'll have a robust debate about approaches. And again, I'm very encouraged that at least he wants to have that debate, and I think the House is going to be very enthusiastic and want to participate in that. So I'm actually enthusiastic about it and optimistic, and I think we have an opportunity to get something done. And I hope the governor will hear that both the House and the Senate now want to do something to help our public schools, and hopefully he'll expand the call to allow us to do that.
Yeah, he said that the Lieutenant Governor also said that he's asked for one-on-one meetings with you, and that hasn't happened.
Well, judging by his presentation yesterday, I wasn't all that sure he enjoyed my company that much. But of course, I'm always happy to meet with the lieutenant governor or the governor if they want to talk about meeting the challenges that face all Texans and have a productive conversation. Happy to do that, and we do that.
Where do you think this is coming from?
You know, it's not coming from me. I don't know whether it's just Texas politics or what it is, but you know, you got to have to. If you're going to be successful as a legislative leader, you have to, you know, let some of that stuff, you know, kind of slide off your back.
Is the bathroom bill part of where you think some of this attack is coming from?
Well, he didn't really reference it yesterday, which I also thought was positive development.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Your stance on the bathroom bill as it stands?
I'm opposed to it. Coming from San Antonio, my concerns were mostly economic. Coming from a city that has such a robust visitor and convention business, seeing the statistics that show that we would lose hundreds of millions of dollars in our local economy, lose thousands of jobs. I heard from the Convention and Visitors Bureau recently that a 20,000 some odd attendee convention that comes to San Antonio is refusing to come back after this year until this issue is resolved. Host city for the Final Four next year. NCAA doesn't like these kind of divisive issues. And our business community is beginning to step up more loud and clear, saying let's not harm our economy. Let's not follow North Carolina's example. I've talked to people in North Carolina. They're former House speakers, now a United States Senator. He's told me a number of times, Joe, you do not want Texas to follow our example. It wasn't a positive one.
The now famous article, I would say, in the New Yorker.
It's long.
Yeah, it was very long. You said something to the effect of you didn't want one Texan to take their life because of something you did. Is that accurate? I mean,
yeah, I did say that. My concerns have been mostly on the economic side of the ledger, but there's a human aspect to this as well, and I did say it. And in a legislature that has recently just passed major mental health care legislation, that passed a significant cyberbullying bill, largely because of the experience of the Molac family in San Antonio. I didn't think that this kind of issue was consistent with that kind of approach.
What would you say are your 2 or 3 priorities going into the special session?
Well, I think the first couple are public education, local property tax relief tied to school finance. Doing more to help our retired teachers is a very high priority for the Texas House. And then, you know, the special session priorities are going to be largely laid out by the governor, so we'll give them a good look and apply the House's work to those and see what we can do.
Your relationship with the governor, he's announcing for re-election probably today.
Yeah.
Your relationship with him?
We have a fine relationship. We have a good relationship. You know, this is the second governor I've served as speaker with. And, you know, my responsibility is to the Texas House, the institution of the Texas House, which is in a separate branch of government from the governor. Now, we get along well when we can collaborate on major policy issues that affect most Texans' lives and collaborate in a positive way. That's good. And, but I have a different job than he has. And the personal side of it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're aligned on most issues. All 5 of his emergency items passed the House and passed the Senate. And I think he felt very good about the outcome of the 2 sessions that he presided over as governor, with the exception of the hiccup on this sunset scheduling bill, which didn't have trouble passing the House.
Final question for you. When you hear Dan Patrick make the comments that he made the other day, when you see the Bexar County Republicans do a vote saying they want a new Speaker of the House, is that just the nature of your job? Is that how you see it? as we
Yes.
just talked about.
Yes.
You serve a much different master than
Yeah.
even the lieutenant governor or the governor do.
Exactly. And, and by the way, I don't know any Republican who supports all 266 planks of the state Republican platform. And you never find anybody that agrees with all of that. And yes, a great deal of criticism comes with leading an institution like the Texas House. The job of Speaker of the House is to represent the District 121 that I come from, and by the way, where I won my last primary against multiple opponents by 32 points. But my other constituents are the 150 members of the Texas House, and I think that they appreciate the fact that I know how to govern without being an extremist. I try to bring people together within the Republican caucus and also Democrats who are willing to work with us. I think the legislative output when you have that approach is always the best, even if a few people on the fringes don't like it.